now, but I am born. I'm born to be a maker in my dream. My mind can think. I have power to be anything. I am sure I am more than this. Yeah, even more. I'm a dreamer. Even more. An achiever. Oh, it's the cry of a girl born gifted another. Make her honor. Yet the world really thinks she's only
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
a
So sorry for starting about this time. We had a little bit of a technical issue.
my mind.
I would like to say welcome to today's presentation live on Freedom Radio Liberia, Facebook, and YouTube.
I am sure
We're also on your dial, 87.9 FM.
I'm a dreamer.
My name is Princess Alexa Van Jacobi, and as always, I'm here to present your program. I'm here with our amazing producer, Abraham Kamara, the DJ's hero. I got that right today.
Story out there, whether I die for me. Oh,
On today's presentation of Women's Spotlight,
I decide what kind of unstoppable.
Sandra is here with us today because we promised you last week that we're going to continue. You know exactly where we stopped. This is March, and we talked about mental health issues last week. Just a little bit of it. We're going to discuss what this month is all about. You know, people like getting a say the country, out of the country. So we have to know what are the different factors responsible for that. Also, we have one of the contestants in the Miss Inter University Liberia, Family Miss University Liberia beauty pageant right here. We're going to discuss the journey, and of course, why does she want to be crowned Miss Universe Liberia? There are many beautiful, brilliant ladies contesting for a single crown.
Cry.
So we're going to talk to her a little bit about that. And when is the official show? Yeah, basically that's what we're going to be talking about today. Also, we're going to inform you for those of you who have been really concerned about why we haven't celebrated our trophies officially as a county. We're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm just going to inform you a little bit what we have planned and how we're going to celebrate this year. We'll take a very short break to be right back, and we'll get back quickly into our discussion of the day.
I can be anything if I just believe in me. Ladies, sing with me. Let the whole story out there.
We'd like to say welcome back to the program Women's Spotlight on Freedom 87.9 FM. If you're just joining us, you're listening live, 87.9 FM down the radio, and we're live on Facebook, Freedom Liberia, as well as YouTube. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Alexis. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I guess it's the first time appearing on Freedom Radio Liberia.
Yes.
Okay.
The first time. And I'm truly honored to be here.
Welcome, welcome, and welcome. We're happy to have you here on Women's Spotlight. What we do here on this program, we definitely spotlight the contributions of women in society. We also talk about some different things women are involved with, whether it is an organizational work or what you're doing, just in general, what you're doing. So it is good to have you here. So a lot of you are listening, they don't know who you are. Of course, you're representing the University of Liberia. I don't like to say that, but yeah, you represent the University of Liberia. So let's talk about it. Who are you?
Hi, Liberia. Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Fashiti Wia. She said I'm representing at the Miss Inter University beauty pageant. So I'm honored to be here. I am actually a junior student,
Okay.
and I'm not with emphasis in management.
It's a good thing to have you here. This University of Liberia, that was earlier on how we called it anyway,
Mhm.
and now Miss Inter University of Liberia.
Yeah.
This is the first time, to have this. pageant. We've had a lot of different pageants in Liberia. Basically, it's just with maybe schools, different organizations talking about maybe climate change or cultural, heritage and stuff like that. But now this is about all the universities, or basically some of the universities we have. You have the African Methodist Episcopal University, of course, you're part of that. You also have people from STARS, and then you are representing the University of Liberia. That is the biggest, I would say, because that is a state-run university. And 100%, whenever we talk about that, your comment is already blown, not just Liberia, because Liberia is a different space on earth, and people have different views on that. But if people are listening or people are watching out of Liberia, just saying you are representing University of Liberia, that's a lot. So how did you actually get to a point where you were chosen? Was there maybe a competition held at the university where you won and you became officially Miss University of Liberia?
So it's been a while now since have got the pageant thing. So the organizers reached out to my school administration
Okay.
and asked them to take the contestants. And because we don't have a queen yet, so a vetting process was done, which I was chosen.
Okay. So you did a vetting process and you were chosen because your administration thought you're qualified to represent the university. So how has it been in terms of support from students and the administration?
We've been doing our publicity so far, and we're trying to engage with all of the students. And so far, they are contributing positively to it. The administration, they are aware and they are into it fully as well.
Okay, that's a good thing. This is a very different pageant, I would say, because I was fortunate to have done the over in your future song for
Yes,
Miss
yes.
University of Liberia
Right.
at the time. So I mean, there are a couple of different things. Just it. This is not just any other beauty pageant.
Right.
This is like extraordinary, where you're way more intellectual. I'm not saying other pageants like they don't have contestants who are intellectual, but for this one solely, it's basically projecting women who are not just beautiful, they're brilliant enough and they know how to form out of different discussions, whether it is going to be politics or just different social issues, right?
Right.
So this is completely different from a lot of the pageants we have in Liberia. So how well are you and how prepared are you with this? For the record, this is a pageant. They're not going to do any swimwear or bikini. European people can say bargaining. They're not going to have that anyway. So it's strictly just outfits, like whole outfits. So
Yes.
that's
It was replaced with the sportswear.
that's okay.
So I am fully prepared for this. I'm prepared for it. I'm convinced I'm gonna win now because I want to set this straight. Because when somebody say I'm going to go university, people just like because it's you also when you're getting something win. So the way in which I'm confident I'm gonna win, that's not the case, right? I'm confident I'm gonna win because of the work that I have put in so far and the work that I'm willing to put in. So I'm fully prepared for this. And I came into this to win it, not because but because I feel like I'm qualified to get this crown.
I mean, you have your 5 contestants,
With
right?
six, yes.
Six contestants, and you're here as a contestant. You have 5 other beautiful ladies. Of course, they're from different prestigious universities in Liberia.
Right.
They're as well confident enough and they're of the conviction they're going to win. And everybody has to do their own thing that they have to be like, hey, I'm confident, so definitely I'm going to win all that. But then would you consider them as huge competitors or competitors you see that you will have like a huge challenge when it comes going, just going back to back because this is a competition in as much as you're going to manage to build sisterhood, which is very important, at the end of the day. This is about you winning, right? So are they really competitive when it comes to that? Or you just see them like, just there. I'm all well off, so I'm going to win it.
So just like you said, all of those ladies came from a very prestigious university, and I'm sure all of the universities sent in their best. So I'm not underestimating nobody. That's why it's the system who is there, but I'm not underestimating anybody, and that's why I'm putting in more work to ensure that because I know that the universities do not see just anybody. They chose their very best. So if I'm gonna be any of them, I have to be fully prepared. That's what I'm. Yeah.
That's not bad. We look forward to exactly what's going to happen because we followed just bit by bit some of the things you've been involved with. I mean, entirely just people who are contesting. We know exactly what the organizers are doing basically with workshops or this training and all that because I'm sure they want the best out of just this competition since it is the first edition.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are looking, forward to see exactly how different it is going to be. If there's going to be any contradiction from what has been written just on the paper, so everyone is just watching bit by bit.
Yeah.
Exactly one is following this bit by bit. But just get to the point where we're talking about some of the things that you have on your platform. Because for a coin, I mean, it is not just about being a beauty queen. Let's look at it that way. But then everyone has maybe a topic, or everyone has something that they're going to present. Maybe it is a manifesto. Maybe there's something that you call your platform. So what do you have on your platform that you want to sell out there, not just to the judges but the public? Because we want to know more about what you're going to do as the crown, Miss Inter University.
There's a lot we're planning to do. Since the research in intellectual based pageants, we all were given a topic,
Okay.
and mine is social economic development, a pathway to like become a middle income country.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good.
And apart from that, we have several things listed that we plan to do. Actually, from UL, you has a lot of problems that needs to be tackled. So I'm not going to tackle all, but there are some that I will have to get to see how best we can.
And what are some of the ones you want to?
So like for the current issues on campus already, shares and everything, we can tackle that, and we can also establish programs to see how best we can, get students involved and change the narrative that it's not just about, strong things. We can also go social and all.
Let me say this in Kolokwa.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody told you,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And they cheer because you fucking. And I'm gentlemen,
I know.
So like this is not just a simple thing you would say because I don't want to go political, but it has been like going back and forth. You will have maybe a semester, and students will have to protest, or students have to demonstrate in order to have a conducive environment. The chairs, how the space is for that, and you're just a queen. Of course you're going to win, and you have the attention from your administrators. You can have it as well from students, but it takes a lot just to accomplish certain things, especially with what you're saying that university. So it takes a lot. So how are you going to work that out? Because you're saying you're going to work with students, and administrators work with students and see where the different things we discuss on a daily basis with students, and students are reacting to some of the things that are happening because they just want to learn in a space that's really, really safe for them. So how are you going to work that out with the already challenged environment you have?
So I'm not saying that if I become the queen, I'm going to do and just get
Okay.
everything done because
You're going to be that for a year. Is it?
Yes, it is. Okay. So I cannot just go in there because that problem is an existing problem. It's been there before, maybe before I was born. So I'm not saying that I'm gonna, eradicate it, right? But I can work with students and the administration to see how best we can get it at least, if it is not 100% solved, to see how best it can be at least 60% or 70% solved. Or
60,
40% solved. Yeah.
40%,
That's
60.
all.
Okay. I mean that's not bad. That's not bad.
We have our own ways too.
Okay, no
So
problem.
those
I guess
things-
you're not going to disclose your strategies to
No,
me.
that's my strategy.
Well, I will be here. We'll keep you on record. We'll let record in it.
No
So
problem.
if you're going to win a people show, we'll be here. We'll remind you. Say, of course, Bashi was here one time and she told me she was going to do this, not 100%,
Mhm.
but because I would like to see just the effort,
You're gonna see it.
So you say I won't win hard support because the pageant is quality because you need people to support you, you need
Sure.
votes, so you have to say just the nicest words for people to understand that, oh, this person needs this. But after you have already won, like are you going to just fulfill your promise or your promises, or are you just going to be like, now I'm just a queen and I don't have the ultimate power to do what I have promised because I'm just a single person. Even I'm going to have more support from the administration, I still do not have just the power that will reach me 100%. So we look forward to that. And now,
It's more like just being an advocate.
yeah, it is. That is a platform for you to advocate for your people. Because you want to extend that, not just because you're a big university or inter university, you're representing your school.
Yeah.
And I'm sure. So when a person wins, or one of the points, if one of you will be, the crowned coin,
Mhm.
are you going to be there to represent all the universities?
Yes.
Okay, tell me
But
about
it's
it.
not limited to just,
just- okay.
it's about all of the university that maybe those universities are participating,
Yeah.
or maybe everybody.
So after you've won, like, is there a clear description of what you're going to do? Because you're talking about representing many schools. You have Harvard of Liberia,
Mhm.
AFEU, you have STARS, you have Bluecrest. You have a lot of different universities just part of this.
Mhm.
So if a queen is single-handedly going to represent a lot of the different universities we have, what exactly is going to happen?
So I'm going to just by the fact I'm going to win. If I win, I'm not just going to single handedly do it. I'm going to work along with all of the queens from different universities because I'm in UL. I might not know what's going on there, but by working with all of the different queens, we can do something.
No problem. This is
Because
so-
the queen will be there, they will serve as they will be on the team,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they will serve as
Yeah.
train the students and I.
So whenever we talk about pageants
Mhm.
in Liberia, people start to worry mostly about transparency, fairness, especially from the organizers, or the angle of the person who's organizing the whole competition. And that's one of the problems I think a lot of people have faced over the years. And after the show, you will have people all on social media, for example, as you have won, I did this, I did that, I was cheated. You have people everywhere, your supporters, people are going to be everywhere just talking about how the show was not fair, how, transparency was not in anywhere part of the show. So do you trust the organizers?
Yeah. So far, the organizers have shown transparency
Okay.
so far, and I think I trust them. We're just hoping for the best. Yes,
You
this is
trust
like
them,
this is
you know-
like I trust them. I trust them, but this is Nigeria though, right? So I trust them
That's a
because so
political
far
statement. You trust them, but this is Liberia, so anything can happen.
I trust them. I trust them because so far they have shown their own level of transparency,
Okay.
and with the way in which they're organizing this entire thing, I'm positive and sure that it's going to be free and fair.
You're
I mean, it doesn't
positive.
mean that people are not going to talk to because
No, of
definitely if
course.
everybody have their contestant, yeah, people always have their own
you,
basic
you, you want your coin to win.
Yes.
Another person wants their coin to win. So at the
Exactly.
end of the day, whoever wins, someone else
Exactly.
would definitely say, it shouldn't have been that way. It has always been like that. But internally, we like to listen to queens who are part of it because you work with the organizers. Not just on one occasion, you do different trainings, and I'm sure there are different interactions you have.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you understand or how everything is like working out, whether it is really based on transparency or not. You understand that more. For us, we're just here, just viewing from afar,
Mhm.
so we don't know what's going on. So whatever image presented to us, that's exactly what we're going to take. So it's important to just have this. It is not to turn people against the organizers or something. No, this is something we have to ask all the time because we have competitions every now and then you have to go on the social media, you have to go everywhere just talking about it. So I think integrity or just the image has to be protected, especially from the organizers. It has to be protected because that is its pays. And
Right.
this is the first time, but it will have more of these competitions in years to come, or 2-3 years from now. We'll have maybe first, second, third editions of Miss Inter University. So it's important to put that out there. So what do you
I can say for free and fairly, the organizers have really shown their level of transparency, and I'm trusting them to do their best.
So what has been one of your major challenges since? And just before we go to that, have you always been a pageant girl?
This is one.
This is
first.
okay. This is your first.
Mhm.
Tell me about it. And your first, you say, I will. Wow.
Yeah, it's my first. I mean, I think because it's my first, so I can be confident I'm gonna win. I mean, I know the work I'm putting into
Have your
it.
confidence.
Confidence is key, though.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
So how, I mean, this is your first.
Mhm.
So wow, this is your first and you're going against like 5 other contestants.
Yep.
And this is not just a small pageant. This is really big. So I mean people expect a lot from the coins.
Yep.
We expect more from all of you, 100% we do. Of course, confidence is very key because you need that to move ahead. You need that to be able to put yourself, together and all that. So what has been one of the major challenges since this is your first? How has it been for you?
So far, my only challenge has been to get acquainted with those things that I needed for the pageant because it's my first time. I don't know who
Yeah.
to get to, what I'm gonna do. But so far, I think we've actually tried our best. My team and I, we've tried our best to see how best we can get all of those things that we need. Yeah, even though it's my first, I'm going through a training to learn how to do the walking and everything. And so far, it has been good. Has been good. And the good thing about it, this one is like an intellectual part. So I already have one of my things, right? So it's just
You for you, and so we expect you to let you or Paku, you got to be,
yeah.
if you don't have that, we're going to have a problem with you, like
And if I
seriously.
tell you that I'm not nervous, I'm lying to you. I am like want to be
It's
very,
okay to
very
be.
nervous. And despite the fact that I'm a student leader and
But they
I'm
wanna
used
see
to
what Paku
I'm
is.
used to talking to people, but this one is a whole different thing. And my nervousness is at this peak, but I'm not gonna allow that to, control
Yeah.
me though. I control over it. Yeah.
No problem. So, what do we expect from you when it comes to your performances? As much as this is an intellectual pageant where you'll be doing research or you're already on that one, and then you'll be presenting, but the audience doesn't care about, oh, my first time.
Right.
And when you are there, number the audience already knows that you're one of the reasons you are there is because you believe in yourself and because you're supposed to be there. So whatever you do, I mean, people are going to say, "Hey, she messed up big time. Oh, she did that." You know, Liberia, how it is. Not
Right.
just Liberia. You have just the social media, and then after that, you will have people saying, "Oh, she didn't do that one. She did that one for that." Right. So like it is actually a whole lot, like a whole lot. So what do you expect from you? Yeah, you're still on your catwalk, like, I don't know if you already learned it, but it's still in the pipeline.
Mm.
So they're working on that. And then there are other things you have to do. So are you prepared?
Prepared and just expect.
Hmm.
That's why you're gonna see beauty with brains. I'm saying us because we're used to this
Of
sisterhood
course,
thing.
of
So
course, of course.
we're gonna be redefining a lot of things on that
Yeah,
day.
of course,
And we're
we'll
going to
definitely.
encourage people like people to believe that just being a pageant guy is not just about working or with the narrative people going to sleep around. You can actually be a pageant girl and actually be, something pure. Like the entire platform or the entire thing of your pageant guy is not just limited. Yeah.
Go, well, yeah. So when is the show? And has the voting already come to an end?
No.
So tell us about that.
So the voting is done by TN Money.
Okay.
It'll be ending the 20th on the day of the show.
Okay.
So you can put in your voice and put in your 1 or 2 votes.
How can someone vote you?
So to vote, you just dial my code *456 *10 *195 TN mobile money on it.
So
And it's 50 LD or 25 cents per vote.
one vote.
Yes, one vote is 50 LD or 25 cents USD. Mobile money.
Yeah, it's not bad. Well, make it because like it was just going to be right back. We'll get back at the center already here.
Mm.
By the way, she's just come on, you said beautiful. Come on, and I don't even know. But
Now I see what she's just. Now I see what she's just looking at me like. She's just looking at me.
yeah,
Oh, so you need to be there then. That's why you need to be there.
yeah.
Which
So
is
that's
nice.
also a beautiful and very brilliant one. And it is not just about catwalk like you said. She's really, really great. So I'm gonna tell you say what to help you this one.
Oh my gosh, she's just looking at
And-
me.
And then, oh yeah, you had a session with them,
Oh, so I couldn't go that day.
but then
I
you
didn't-
miss it. Oh.
Yeah, I know. I didn't do that day.
Okay, guys, we'll take a very short break. Be right back, and we'll get back. We're gonna have Sandra right here, and then we're gonna have from Miss Bashiti Wea representing the University of Liberia in this year's Miss Inter University Liberia. Interesting.
Baby, more can be anything. Just believe in me. Dreaming more. Come on, ladies, sing with me. There's an old story out there where the mind is for me. Oh, there's a new story from here. Unstoppable. I'm born to be
Well, like to welcome back to Miss Spotlight. Who's joining us, listening to Freedom Radio Area, and of course, we're live on Freedom Radio Area, YouTube, and on your dial 87.9 FM. If you're someone who usually gets the Freedom Cash giveaway, continue playing. Abraham will be here later on to give you money. That's star 79 and star 70 and use your loan mobile money account. Play using LD $211 or $1.50 US dollars to win $20,000. So there's a whole good thing here for you. Continue to play star 799 star 70 hash and use $200 if you use your Liberty account, $1.50 if you are using your USD account. So continue playing, and of course, you have a chance to win $20,000. So we're back. The show is the 29th, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. How can we get tickets? Where do we go? Where exactly would the show be held? When does it start?
Mhm. So you can get your ticket using the Tip Me app. Just download the app, fill in the information, open an account. You can go to any Tip Me booth to your top up.
Not everyone understands Tiffany, and not everyone listening, knows exactly where to go when it comes to the Tiffany thing.
Mhm.
So, is there any other way for people to understand this thing about technology, especially for maybe our open listeners who don't see you and stuff like that? So, is there any other way to get tickets?
There's another way,
Okay.
but I don't know because from now to 28, the tickets are sold for 10 USD. But
Between now and the 20th.
yes,
Okay.
But if you want to get it the day of the event, it's 15 USD. So the other way I go think of it is just come and then get it, but then the price will go up high. So
Hmm.
I did a video, that I share on my social media, give step by step as to how people can get the app, where you can go to get the app, and how you can open your account. So my social media handle is Vashiti Wea. You can just go there, and then the video is already there to teach you the process of getting there.
Okay, that's not bad. In case you're listening and you want to call in, we want to take a few calls before to call because we're like out of time. But Sandra, we promised for last week, and you and I are creating that problem in real life. So that's one of the reasons she's here today. So you can call us on 2776 104 104 0865 104 to be a part of this. You can talk to your queen if you're from the University of Liberia. You can talk to your queen. You just want to encourage her, but you're welcome to do that as well. If you want to understand more about what's going to happen on 29th of March 2020, you can also call in and talk to her. So when does it start?
At 6, the red carpet starts at 6. This week,
And
the
I'm
red carpet.
Brenta or Rieta?
Rieta.
Yeah, Rieta.
Rieta, 6.
Okay. And it is at the
Ministerial
Ministerial
Complex.
Complex. Okay, so 6 p.m. and that will be on This is Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
29th of March, 2025, at the Ministerial Complex. You can get there. If you want to get your ticket before your future show, you can make use of the Tiffany app. Go to Facebook, Vashiti, where she did a video, the instructions as to how to go about downloading the app if you don't have it, and as well, go through the steps to vote her as your contestant as well. According to her, it is still ongoing. With voting is still ongoing until the day of the show.
Yeah.
Am I woman money? Oh? The whole show. Yeah, so that's not bad. So you can make your way there. It is good for your voting. Sandra, hello. Please work our microphone for her. We have like few minutes. Actually, sorry, just want to take your parting comments. I beg you. Okay, so is there anything we did not actually talk about you would like to say to your fans, your supporters, the family, the organizers?
Okay. So first of all, we really appreciate you first for having me here today, and thanks to everybody that are listening. And like I said, when you're coming for the day of the event, you need to come prepared because you're gonna see the very best.
Yeah.
You're gonna see Beauty Supreme, and we're gonna be redefining a lot of things. Like Sandra, for example, we're gonna be redefining her mind. Yeah. So you're gonna see, not the money is not gonna be a waste. Yeah, you're actually gonna enjoy yourself.
Oh, God
Yeah.
bless you. Our money no more ways. But thank you so much for being here,
Thank you.
and wish you all the best. Definitely we do. And look forward to seeing you perform on the 29th of March 2025. We're going to be there. And we hope the show is going to go well at the end of the day, without any complaints from a lot of people. But we trust you. We trust the organizer as of now. Tyrese is doing a great job. And thanks to him, for thinking about something like this because we've always had different pageants, like I said. You have this from Miss AU, but we never, have something where all the universities get together. So this is really a cool thing, and he's doing a great job. So thanks, Terry,
Thank you.
for what you're doing. This is a good thing, and we look forward to attending. So thank you so much for being here, and yeah, best wishes.
I'm creative. I'm brilliant. I'm feeling. It's the cry of a girl born gifted, another make her honor. Yet the world really thinks she's only a female, but I am born. I'm born to be a maker in my greatness. My mind can't think. I have worth to be anything. I am sure I am more than this. Yeah, more. I'm a dreamer, dreaming more. An achiever, dreaming more. I can be anything if I just believe in me. Dreaming more. Sing with me. There's a whole story out there. Whether I
We'd like to still welcome back. They won't beat me up. Let me just see from here. Okay, continue playing the Freedom Cash giveaway. Star 799 star 70 hash. Play you $200 using your Liberty account, use that mobile money or $1.50 USD or mobile money as well. Stand a chance to win 20,000 Liberian dollars. Okay, continue playing because with me, I hope you listen. You know, but Sandra, hello again, ma.
Oh, that's
Uh, I want to say welcome again.
our regular studio guest.
Exactly. Welcome back. No, but an announcement was made last week anyway, and I told the audience to not be surprised. We're going to have here almost all the time because the issue of mental health is very important, and we don't get to talk about that a lot. And I think this is not just a privilege; this is an opportunity for all of us because you are giving us knowledge, and of course, our people listening. Some of them do not understand how crucial that is. This is so but it's important to have you here all the time. I want to say thank you so much for always allowing us to have you here just to share with us things we do not know or we do not understand. But welcome again.
Thank you, Alexa.
We imagine so you promised the post will come for something today.
Oh yeah. So last week, Alexa and I decided that today we're gonna be talking about self harm because March is the month of self harm awareness where we throw light on self harm because it's an uncomfortable topic. It's something that is very common. People do it, but then they're not comfortable with talking about self harming. So we came. I mean, it's something tough. That's why I'm laughing because even me, I have my own fair share of it. But then talking about it is another thing. Having that
Just a conversation.
yes, the confidence to come out and talk about it is something that's very difficult to discuss because at that point most people will not understand because people have different ways of responding to certain situations. So it's possible that somebody might have been in similar situation, but then they handle it differently. And then there's a lot of judgment around self harming. So
Okay.
we
That's just
will see what we can get to do with it.
oh, it's you. I'm actually managing. Hmm? This is not funny. This is really serious. But whenever we start to talk about these things, one of the things that actually, gets to my mind is the fact that a lot of people still do not understand how serious this is. So oftentimes you think that it is fun. Say you buy not too sure, you hurting yourself, hurting yourself. Usually we say that to people. Or when someone wants to be like, hey, I'm going to kill myself will be like, go die, mortality, injured, So we see all these things on a daily basis for people on the social media. They see that a lot on the social media. For people on the social media, I'm sure in different communities, you have people saying, I want to drink positive, for example. I remember I was something like that before. And this is not a person though. Someone in there, maybe what is.
Mm.
And today, yeah, I still do not understand. I still do not know what actually triggered that because we don't talk about it.
Mhm.
That lady, she's someone who used to. I don't know if she's still around though, because it was like I was a bit of a little girl, so who used to sell bread, and I don't know what happened. What did I do at the end of the day? One morning, it was Saturday. People said they almost said she coming drink pasta to the hotel, this and that. Everybody was like confused, like why? So you have a huge crowd, gather around just because we let gist or we let it look at it that way. So everybody around and everybody's just watching like she had the custard. It was just there. People said, don't do it, don't how would do it, don't do it. You know how it goes,
Yeah.
right? So it's that until at the end of the day, people managed, to get that hand. And I'm sure she did not do that later on. If she it was different occasions, but I don't know about it. But I still do not understand why. And people started to criticize for action like you be what more you get your children, who will take care of your children?
Yes,
Who will take care of your children? What's happening so much? And this is that. So for me, I want to know there are different episodes and people experience theirs differently. Some there are different triggers anyway. So generally, what are some of the causes or what definitely will lead to a person wanting to harm themselves?
So I think last Wednesday I talked about people having different levels of mental tolerance, similar to how people have different level of pain tolerance. I might be going to the same level of pain as Alexa, but maybe I might be rolling on the ground and crying, and Alexa will just be a very strong woman coming and running the radio show. So it's like that with our mental health, right? So we have different levels of mental tolerance, and then we have different mental health conditions that people have, and some are. I mean, some know that they have it, and others they don't know that they even have it due to maybe lack of awareness, lack of insight on their own mental health disorders or illnesses and all that. So there are certain mental health conditions that are linked to self-harming. Depression is one of them. Anxiety is one of them. PTSD is one of them.
Break that one down.
PTSD is the
Pause.
post-traumatic stress disorder. So it's more or less something happened to you before that traumatized you, and the fact that it's happening to you again, or it's not even happening. Sometimes it's not even happening, but you
Right.
seeing signs. Or let's just take for example,
just
yeah,
the
let me
part
give
there.
a scenario. For example, maybe somebody locked you up in your dark room before
Before.
and did something harmful to you. So anytime you enter somewhere and then you see the place is dark,
Start to have a
you start to think
flashback.
about I
What
won't break
happened
it
to
down
you?
and speak Koloba
Your
Maloma. It's like
story.
you start to think about the thing that the person did to you that the other time,
Oh
and
yes.
then maybe it made you to start doing certain things to yourself. So self-harming is linked to that too. It can be linked to other mental health conditions like borderline disorder, like autism.
Yeah, I know about autism.
Yeah.
So that
So if I start discussing all the disorders here, we're not moving. But it's linked to a lot of other mental health conditions. But I mean, depression, PTSD, anxiety, they are more common in our society than the others.
so for me, I'm actually concerned about people's reactions.
Mm.
Right. That is to say, if I want you to speak with but I'm not able to reach the reach. Um I'm gonna break it down.
I get them trying to, the activity part of it. So
Yes.
I can be thinking about
Yeah.
people on the radio they
Yeah.
don't understand the thing I'm
I'm sorry
talking.
guys. I'm going to ask normally how Sandra is going to try her best to break it down. Okay. So I'm concerned about people's reactions, right?
Mm.
Um just what I said about the lady and what she wanted to do actually, and the reactions were kind of really wild.
Mm.
For me, I'm grown now. People understand exactly,
Yeah.
the reactions were not as positive as they are
Mhm.
supposed to be in order to help her, because everyone was really concerned about, okay, you want to do this or you want to do that. So usually we're not looking beyond what has happened or why that person, wants to do what that person wants to do. We're mostly concerned about we are tearing them behind or leave this or yeah, we'll get plenty of food, we'll get plenty of water. We're not interested in that. So how, like, what exactly would you say to people who usually react in a way that is not positive? Because I'm sure whenever something like that happens, you need positive,
Support.
reinforcement or positive support, because you need people to listen. That, oh yeah, you have people here. You don't have to take over your life, or you don't have to harm yourself and all that. So
Mhm.
please tell us, like everyone, how do we react positively without being judgmental?
So let me show a light on something that I did earlier today.
Mm.
So the incident that I think a lot of us saw on the social media with the guy who posted that he wanted to take his life. Yes, within 24 hours. And I saw a lot of mixed reactions, right? Some people were being empathetic towards his situation, while some people were there, or go and kill yourself. That
Mhm.
type of reaction. It actually triggered me, and I made a post earlier that we should try to incorporate a culture of kindness and empathy. Sometimes you don't have to feel what somebody is feeling, but to understand
Yeah.
why they are doing certain things. You just have to be kind and support them. So I think that's something that we lack in our society, in our generation. Again, culturally, again, we were taught that we have to be strong. You African, now where people
Yeah.
think, down there, society, then now where people think.
Yeah.
Why you want here and say,
Yeah.
now where people think, those type of things. We were taught to be tough, that you have to be tough. You have to do it. You get cheering, you get
Were
this, you
we
get
taught
that.
or were we forced
Uh.
to be tough?
I mean, that's a whole controversial conversation because
Exactly.
indirectly
We
we
were
were forced
forced.
because that's what we grew up into. So
Exactly.
I mean, that's another conversation.
Because
Yeah,
it is like really,
but
really hard. I
we
swear to
have to
God.
incorporate the whole culture of kindness. But it starts again with awareness. People
Mhm.
have to be aware that each time I always like to tell people about the difference in mental tolerance. Again, I always let to link it with pain.
Yeah,
because that is
yeah,
more relatable.
it is.
Yeah, so
It
I like
is.
to sometimes certain people they have some mental health disorders. They don't even know that they have it. Sometimes they know that they have it, but because of the stigma and everything
You just
surrounding
wanna,
mental health,
yeah,
they don't want to come up and tell you about it.
yeah.
But when we just have that whole culture of kindness, as I
Mhm,
said earlier, I
mhm.
think we can do way more to help each other to provide the kind of emotional support that we need to provide because you'll not just be seeing what you would do,
Mhm.
but you'll be seeing the person for who they are, what they're going through, taking all other factors into consideration and providing them the support that they need now while you would do. We're not come there and be saying it's so can be explaining, oh, they say you got diabetes, somebody in
Okay.
my community that for ill, like when we can react to it,
Yeah.
no, we're not for that type of
Why
reaction.
would you even want to say that when somebody's like, oh Lord?
Exactly.
There's something else that comes with being an African, and we're just gonna narrow that down with being a Liberian. I am a Liberian, of course, proudly. I am a Liberian, but there's some of the things we do in Liberia, and personally, you're not supposed to be that way. Like you're thinking not normal, but for us, it's normal,
Mm.
right? And I think that's where the problem is because we are supposed, like especially now, young people, for the born depression, oh you're sorry, but the born daddy already owing sana. You normally African parents. So that was just like passed down to maybe their children. If
I let to term us mostly, especially when it relates to the war. Some of us that did not have, that first-hand experience, in
yeah,
as much as we were born that time,
yeah,
but we did not have that onset experience. I like to term to us as indirect victims.
yes, we are.
Yeah.
Definitely we are. And I think this is the moment for us to turn that around. If the story was not rated yet, it has to be rated now, or if it was rated before, it has to be re-rated
We
and
were
re-echoed
exactly.
because this is not really enforced. And like what you said, we need to share kindness, right? And we have to be empathetic because at the end of the day, if you are not, today is somebody else, tomorrow you never tell if it is going to be you because everyone has like different moments in their life and
That
it's
you
going
snap,
to,
call it a snap.
yeah,
You might think that you're strong, that I can handle the thing
you won't,
until your
yeah,
cup gets full, and then maybe as the mental term for it is psychosis. Maybe you could
yeah,
find yourself taking all your clothes
yes, I'm
and roaming
driving.
around in the street.
Psychosis, you heard that, right?
Yes, you could have a psychotic episode, whether brief or long term.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we always need to reach out for help. And something else, when you were asking about cost too for self-harming, something
Mhm.
that I miss out on. Sometimes people go through certain things in their life and then they have guilt, or sometimes they have shame. So it could
Okay.
be guilt, it could be shame. And then they turn to self-harming as a way of punishing themselves for what happened. So that I think about it. I
I know
mean,
it's a
it,
lot.
it brought me
So,
back to studying realities about myself. It's a very emotional topic, and sometimes people too. For me, right, my own story. It's just a way of relieving the pain that you feel inside.
yeah,
So there's this pain that you feel
yeah.
inside your chest. You're
And it
having
is
heart
stronger.
palpitations, as the
Yeah.
both people call it, or your heart beating fafa. You feeling that pain inside, but nothing can calm that pain.
Yeah.
You will take pain medicine and not working, and sometimes somebody will just realize that oh they cut themselves, and then temporarily or for a short
Yeah.
time, right? They just
Yeah.
feel that relief. They're not feeling the pain that they were feeling
Yeah.
inside anymore.
Yeah.
Then they say, okay,
I
this
think this
here
is
can
going to
stop the
work
pain
out.
that I feel inside, and
Right.
then they continue to do it before you become your mind become addictive.
So for some, it is a solution.
Yeah,
So if you're feeling maybe an emotional pain or psychological pain that's
yeah,
really stronger
yeah.
than the physical pain, now you want to
A
measure and
balance.
see what's,
You want to find a balance.
and then you start to cut yourself bit by bit. Okay, this is okay.
And
And
actually surround a lot of people. As
I was
as a
talking
former
to
victim of self-harm, I will tell you at that moment, right? It was actually sweet. But deadly. Very
you're not
serious.
practicing.
Sweet but deadly.
Yeah. So there's also another one. It is the same self-harm. But then there are people who, for example, you need attention, maybe from your parents, from your spouse,
Mm.
or from people. And then I wouldn't want to say validation because there are people who love you deeply, and maybe at a point in time you're not getting that attention you usually got,
Mm.
maybe few years or few weeks back,
Mhm.
and now you want attention, so you start to get involved with self-harm, and you realize when you do it, the person be like, oh my, this, and you have the
Yeah.
attention. So how do we also call that?
So self-harming too can also be a cry for help.
Okay.
So sometimes people they are going through stuff, but they are not getting people to actually see what they're going through. So you can see the mental, but you can see the physical.
Mhm.
So they inflict the physical, and sometimes you see marks
You
on
start
them,
asking,
and you'll get
okay.
concerned. You'll be like, "What caused this?" And maybe depending on how you came around to ask, maybe they might be comfortable to tell you.
Mhm.
But again, some people might cover up. Some
Yeah.
people might be wearing long sleeve. Even though normally in Liberia, the people,
Yeah, Papa Nico, that way.
no, even though the people that may, oh, when you wear first suit, they respect you. So can be passing around with putting the hats on. But sometimes it's just people will covering up their harm marks. Or for me, I let the term as survival marks. It is a mark to remind you that okay, you live another day
Yeah,
without
to tell the story.
yes,
Here is Sandra telling us the
yes.
story. You see her life looking because you never tell what's gonna happen. 1 minute pass. Marvin, we're going to take just few minutes from you. Sorry. Tell Mavis we're taking a few minutes. That's what I'm saying anyway. So there's this thing about, and I think now Vashi was here not too long.
Mm.
Cyber attacks or
Yeah.
cyberbullying, as we usually call that.
Mm.
Not everyone takes that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Not everyone takes that. You feel me? Not everyone takes that. So there are people like I let it we're all going back to the painting. I
Mm.
remember my brother experienced stomach ache or can say stomach pain one time or not easy. It was
Mm.
funny to me because I know exactly what I go through when it comes to that.
Mm.
And I know how grounded I can be. Like you feel that people are walking in your stomach, like I feel that.
I remember I feel like the one man to test it. Like, yeah.
So that's something that bothers me a lot. It is
Mm.
not about normal, a woman is not period or something. That's something that I struggle with. So I know how painful it is.